Well, hey there, friendships. Welcome back to Curtis' Corner. If you are new here, hi, I'm Curtis. This is my corner. Welcome back to the channel. I took some time off for the holiday season, but I'm back and I got some really exciting stuff happening this new year. Oh, I hope you're ready. Today, starting off strong though, I guess, is our Movie Monday. If you're new, welcome. Movie Mondays is where I talk about some new, upcoming films, or even film-related content in general. So if you like movies, you like going and having some good old entertainment, you've come to the right place. Stay tuned to the end of the video because I do have a special announcement. I'm super excited for it. So, today's Movie Monday, we are going to be talking about the new Blumhouse release, our first January horror movie of the year, and that is Night Swim. So if you are interested to see my thoughts and opinions on this film, then keep on watching. Now before I jump into the review, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. I know there's a lot of you that do watch and aren't subscribed. It takes 3 seconds, just hit that little button and then you can see me all the time on your little home feed. I will be here to provide you with some good content, if I just say so myself. Also, in the link below, I would really appreciate it if you joined my Patreon. You will be able to have full access to all of my videos earlier than when it comes out on YouTube. So, if that interests you, click that link, join the Patreon. It is super cheap. I promise I made it as cheap as humanly possible because times are tough and they're only getting tougher. And you supporting me means I can give you much better content. So, there's that. Along with early access to my videos, you also have creative control over what kind of content that I put out. So if that also interests you, click that link. You won't go unnoticed, I promise. So all that being said, let's jump into the review for Night Swim. So like I said, Night Swim is a brand new Blumhouse release. It was produced by Jason Blum and James Wan himself. Now there is a brand new merger that has happened with Blumhouse and Atomic Monster. Atomic Monster is James Wan's production company, and Blumhouse is the creator of basically like everything. Everything horror, more or less. They are the horror giants, if you will. Now, Night Swim released to more of a sprinkle rather than a splash. That being said, let's kind of break down some of the things that I thought about the film. We'll talk about the plot. We'll talk about the production. We'll talk about the acting, the score, the cinematography, and then just kind of give you my final thoughts at the end of everything. So the plot itself is derived from a short story, and it's very apparent. You can very much see that there's not a whole lot of substance to the plot of the film. It is good enough to stand alone as a short film. However, there's not enough substance to inflate it to be that of a feature film. Most of the film feels kind of unsure of which direction it wants to go. There's a lot of campy moments, and sometimes camp is good, but in this it falls very flat. The scarier moments aren't that scary. There's not really many jump scares, and when there is a jump scare, it's a very apparent jump scare where you're knowing it's gonna happen and it still doesn't get you. As for the acting is, for the most part, well done. Wyatt Russell himself is actually the standout I found in this film, although every other actor, every other character in the scenes did a very well done job as well. But that being said, there are still moments throughout the film where it just feels very awkward, cringy, wooden. And it could just be because of the writing itself, where it's just not that good of writing. But you can tell that they are trying to do the best that they can with what they were given. Now, the special effects in this film were actually probably the highlight of the film. There are moments of CGI that are used, very few and far in between, and you don't really notice them. They are done so well that it does blend very nicely into the scenes that they are used, and the only way that you are going to notice them is if you're actively really trying to spot the CGI moments. Otherwise, they are very well done. The makeup effects that everyone is using, those are really good as well. Now, that being said, there are some moments where the entity that is coming after this family that's haunting the pool, I saw one comment and I couldn't help but agree, it does look very Scooby-Doo-esque. There is only like a couple instances when you do see this entity And when you do see it, you're just like, really? This is what you chose to go with? But it's a very brief moment that they are on screen and then they disappear. And for the rest of the time, it's very much almost a It Follows vibe, where you don't really see the entity and the things that are happening to this family are all very otherworldly and more or less invisible. As for the score, the music, all that, it was fine. It didn't hinder anything in the film, but it also didn't really advance anything. The most apparent sound that they would be using is that increasing tone where you know something bad is going to happen, and it just kind of gives you that like high tension, high anxiety feeling throughout the film. And it's a very apparent thing right up until this family moves into this house. For the rest of the film, it's constantly there, and even when it's not there, they have a different type of score that's playing in the background that is a softer but yet similar tone to this one that's in every horror film. The cinematography I found was very smart, very well done as well. That is another positive in this film. They choose to go between a third person and a first person view to actively get those genuine scares from a visual standpoint. There are very much moments where you are being a character in the film and seeing what they see in order to get the fear that they are experiencing. And I really appreciated that. The third person views, there were camera tilts, there were, I feel like there were upside down moments. If not upside down, then very close to being like upside down moments. Lots of aerial views. It was very much like aesthetically pleasing to look at, but I just found the first person scares were a lot more effective than the third person scares. Those I felt were a little bit cheapened, but still it didn't really hinder the already thin plot that this film had. All in all, I think the third act of the film is probably the best part of the film. When you're actually doing that final battle, you're trying to overcome this entity, you're trying to beat it. All of that I found brought the intensity that was missing throughout most of the runtime of the film. I found that's when the effects and the actual story really came strongly into play, because for most of the runtime there were a lot of questionable moments and a lot of cringeworthy moments. Even in the final act, there are some moments where there are some very not character, like you get to know these characters and some of the things that they do or they say and how they react aren't matching up. It almost seems like it's a completely different character from where they were at the beginning growing to how they were by the end. And just, it feels very cartoony certain moments during that final act. While still being the best part of the film, it does hinder it slightly because of the things that are being said. It's almost cartoonish and laughable. All in all, this is a January horror release. You go in expecting it to pretty much be bad, and you're just kind of there to, you know, waste some time, have a good laugh more or less. This isn't anything special by any means at all, but it's also not one of the worst films I've ever seen. Do I think you should go see it? If you really want to, I would just wait. Wait for it to come out. It's not that exciting to run out and go and see. If you were given like a free movie and you wanted to pick anything, go watch it. If you want to go and see it on a cheap night where everything's discounted, sure, go see it. It's a night out. That's essentially what you can look at it as. It's a night out. When there's nothing else to do, go check it out. It's fine. It's very mediocre. It's very fine. Nothing outlandish, nothing crazy, nothing phenomenal. So with all of that being said, I'm going to be giving Night Swim a C-. Nothing fantastic, like I said. Nothing to run out your door and buy 18 tickets for on the most expensive day. It's fine. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you did, make sure you give this video a like so I know that you're watching it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so I know you keep coming back. Hit that notification bell so that way you know when I post a brand new video, because if you don't, how else are you gonna know? You won't, so do it. And now for that special announcement that I was talking to you about. So I will be having a video come out this Thursday. It's not going to be a full glam makeup video. It is going to just be some little swatches and whatnot. But next Monday, next Monday is going to be a very, very, very special video, because I have been given the opportunity to sit down with someone in the film industry to interview them on an upcoming movie that they are going to be releasing later on this year. And I'm super excited. and you will find out more details about that on Thursday. But until then, goodbye, friendships.